I think it was the influences of North American music and the songs that our parents brought with us after the Second World War, melding those two, which would distinguish us from what was happening out west. These were different sounds. They celebrated the joy, they celebrated the difficulties, and found strength in being together even in difficult times. It felt really important to hold on to that crucible of Ukrainian culture, which was to a great extent a fighting culture. Roughly 25,000 Ukrainians in Montreal, I think, at the time. UNO was active, SUM was active, Plast was active, Prosvita was active, Odum, Sumk, Susk, it was the heyday. Бо ми всі повиростали, батьки приїхали після Другої світової війни, більшість з них приїхали. Були старші члени громади і старші родини, я б сказав. But most of the people my age were first generation Canadians, their parents having come after the Second World War. It was a wonderful time in Montreal. It was also a time when multiculturalism was officially declared, right? Trudeau, like Senator Paul Yuzik, Expo 67. Це був знаменитий час. Так само був досить такий бурхливий час, бо студентський рух американський демонстрував проти В'єтнаму. В Монреалі вже починалися вибухи сепаратизму, а українці проти Косігіна демонстрації. Я знаю, що ми організували відмічувати свято Крут, де 300 студентів згинуло під Крутами при поїздовій станції. We had a blood drive for Крут. Things were active. І в Монреалі я казав, що ми почали грати в La Step, але був ще один клуб український, спортовці зорганізували. It was simply called the Sport Club. And it was on the main, third floor over a furniture store, narrow footsteps or staircases to go upstairs. І нас попросили там грати. І ми там грали. Рушничок виступав в п'ятницю і в суботу. Кожного тижня, майже кожного тижня. Ми десь поза містом не грали, чи на весіллю не грали, чи на концерті, то ми виступали у Sports Club. And it was packed. It was, люди на підлогах сиділи. Маленький квадратик був, і можна було танцювати. І ми грали. Ясени, бачу вас за селом край дороги. We were paying by the hour, and if I hit the rim by accident, you let it go, right? Я часом слухаю, я собі думаю, okay, whoa, stop, Stefan, like, уже досить, Because when you're young, you try too hard. And you ask about the evolution of playing. I don't know about the other guys, but I became more secure in the knowledge that I didn't need to be that up front. Probably to the relief of the other band members, because they were my friends and they were very good to me. My first drum kit was Pearl. It was a very inexpensive Pearl. Pearl drums. When they weren't actually that well known, they became a much sturdier, higher quality brand after that. And Zildjian cymbals. In the early days, with Rushnychok, I stuck with Zildjian cymbals. I've since gone to other brands. And then purchased Rogers. You know what? For no other reason than because Dave Clark played Rogers. Which is the dumbest reason ever for buying. It's like Charlie Watts of the Rolling Stone plays Gretsch drums, so I'm going to buy Gretsch drums. But you're a kid. That's what you do, and you're also thinking, oh, he sounds good. I want to sound good. I don't know his name. I was at the Toronto Ukrainian Festival with my wife Larissa, and of course Ron Cahoot's playing, so got to see it, right? And a great band, Budia, and there were only three of them. and I don't know his drummer's name, but this guy, you listen to him and you know, say a Veshkulini Bubinist, this guy knows what he's doing. He's exact, never gets in the way, but he's there, right? There's a crispness to it and there's an exactitude. With me, there wasn't that exactitude. I mean, sometimes I'd be all over the place, or I'd be a little bit faster, I'd speed up a little. I mean, I realize these things now. But what I wanted to say was there were also other groups that were playing. And what I noticed was how unidimensional the drumming was, and the rhythm. In other words, one song after another, after another, after another. These very talented musicians, I think they were from Edmonton. Lovely songs that they were playing, but they never ever varied the rhythm. That's something that they should reconsider. I mean, just think about that, because there's so many ways to go, especially with Ukrainian music. It's so rich. Look at what they're doing at the festivals with the artists that are coming from Ukraine, right? I mean, you've got rocksteady, you've got ska, you've got a band, Vevet. That's ska, Ukrainian music, you know, and you've got these Rastafarian influences. It's lovely. It's lovely. It's the Police comes to Kyiv, and Bob Marley's influences all over the place. In the van, and we'd be driving to Brantford, or flying to Chicago, or we flew to Los Angeles to play a few times, New York City, and everywhere we went, you know, growing up I was told you never have to worry if you're Ukrainian, because you show up in a town, and even if you're a student, this works for students, right? It wouldn't work for someone who's working, but a student, and you knock on a parish door, they'll always tell you where you can go for a meal, or even take you in, or you always feel at home, right? There's a Dumyuka, and that's the kind of atmosphere that we played in, we grew up in, and we were young men during this kind of time across Canada. So we'd come to Toronto, and the Keller family would meet us at the record store. Хлопці, коли ви приїжджаєте, okay, you have to drop off your records at Arca and West Arca. Yes. Okay, we'll be at West Arca. You're having lunch with us, right? Or Tomko Kirilyuk, the late Tomko Kirilyuk, the same kind of thing. Or Pani Pan Anders. You know, you come to Toronto, they'd be there for you, and they take you under their wing, and they feed you, and they chat you up, and then you go and you set up for the dance. And to a great extent, that was the case all the way across Canada. We met the Koziak family at festivals, at a festival outside of Edmonton, and the same kind of thing. They'd pull in with their friends with trailers, and you'd be invited to a campfire after. So you never felt alone. You played, you were embraced, you were brought into people's families, not just in, you know, oh, guys, there's a table at the end of the hall, make sure you have enough to eat, here's a drink, enjoy, nice meeting you, goodbye. Yeah. You know, it wasn't like that. I think it was the influences of North American music and the songs that our parents brought with us after the Second World War, melding those two, which would distinguish us from what was happening out west, which was the coming of settlers and people entertaining themselves in kitchens, in church halls. These were different sounds. They celebrated the joy, they celebrated the difficulties, and found strength in being together even in difficult times. And their expression was one of farming, young communities, and enjoyment of Ukrainian music from a time long before the Second World War. Our parents came across when the Iron Curtain fell. It felt really important to hold on to that crucible of Ukrainian culture, which was to a great extent a fighting culture, right? Повстанці, січові стрільці. So the songs that we sang, and I think I'm not that familiar with the repertoire, but I enjoyed hearing them at the time. Синестепів were повстанські пісні with a rock or other rhythm put to them. And you say, people actually danced to that? And they did. What is European music? What is the tango? What is the waltz? It's military beats, right? That's the genesis, right? And so it's not that unusual to have people cherishing these songs, remembering their homeland in a political context and still having fun. That's the best that I can put to it. Otherwise, it's the time. It's not so much the place as the time and the influences of these various North American and British bands that we grew up loving, as did anybody our age. Today, you have some bands from Ukraine who now are in the Toronto area who are wonderful, and you sit there or you're dancing to their music, and you hear not only the musicality, the knowledge of what they're doing, but also their voices, and that'll do it every single time.
Does the band still get together and play once in a while?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
You know, we want to see you play.
Not often, not often. You know, I don't know if it's going to happen. I know people want to see us play. I'd like to play. It depends on all the guys, okay? It depends on everybody. And we have to respect that. And also, you know, there's something to be said about it's time for someone else, really. I mean, crying out loud, it's been 45 years, right? And I would love to do it, but not if we're not going to be good, right? We performed at Rushnychok, Yurko's son and Oksana's son's wedding. We played there, and we had the chops. We had the chops. It was miraculous. We played 6 songs, and it was like we never stopped playing. And the guys have a group called Spivanka, because I live in London. They're still in Montreal. Yurko travels a lot, so he plays whenever he can. But they'll go to seniors' homes, and they'll sing for the seniors with their wives and with some friends, right? Pan Mota, the bondurist and the singer, will sing with them as well. So you've got that happening, and it's it's a different style. I'm thrilled the guys want to digitize the albums and to put them on iTunes. I think that's great, and they're all into it. And he wrote me, he says, you know, Stefan, thank you for doing this. So I feel good about that. I feel good about the fact that we can now take vinyl and with no scratchy sound on it, post 5 albums, and they sound, I think they sound really, really good. We were getting wonderful feedback from Rushnychok fan group and from individuals who've listened to them. So
were they remastered, or were they just taken straight from the tape?
Taken straight from the vinyl.
Oh, the vinyl.
Taken straight from the vinyl, and with a very high quality needle. There's no scratching whatsoever. And Jerry Hodson, Hot Sounds, St. Catherine, Ontario, thank you. You did a great job. We're faces in a crowd. And what we've learned, I think, as you get older, what you learn is to cherish the now, the people you're with now, to celebrate where you want to go, and to enjoy good health and good company and love, right now. And if something phenomenal happened years ago, to have that be a really great memory. As I say, I truly believe it's time for other groups and other performers, and there are many of them. They are so talented, and I just wish for them the kind of appreciation that we felt. You know, I'm 62 years old, and I've been a reporter, I've been a producer, I've been an academic, I've been a dean at a college, I've been a university prof. And I sit here and I go, you know, those days in Rushnychok was one of the best things I've ever done. You know, you're 22 years old, and you don't know that if you're lucky enough to live till you're 62, you're going to be looking back and going, oh, this is one of the best things I've done or been a part of. So wonderful memories, and great guys. They're a great family. They're wonderful friends. Their wives, and I just feel really fortunate that I was lucky enough to be with them, because I'm just the drummer.
Thanks a lot.